Now look at this.
The Pippy Penguins. Today we're going to do topic 8.2, energy flow through ecosystems. So the first thing we're going to talk about is thermoregulation, so regulating your body temperature. Now there's two different types of organisms we have. We have endotherms and we have ectotherms. These middle school terms have got to go. So endotherms are what y'all call warm-blooded. This has to do with an organism that's going to regulate its own body temperature using metabolism. Versus an ectotherm is what you call a cold-blooded organism. This is going to be an organism that uses its environment to regulate its body temperature. So in a colder environment, an endotherm is going to consume more food than an ectotherm due to the fact that it's going to have to maintain its body temperature, and so it's going to have to metabolize more frequently. We're also going to see an increase in oxygen consumption in the endotherm due to the fact that oxygen is a final electron acceptor, and if you're undergoing more metabolism, increased metabolism means increased oxygen consumption. We also can see an inverse relationship between the basal metabolic rate and the body mass of the organism. So what that means is that a smaller organism is going to have a higher metabolism than a larger organism. Why? Because smaller things have a larger surface area to volume ratio, so they're losing more heat than a larger organism. If an organism has a net gain in energy, that means we're going to see energy storage as well as we're going to see growth of the organism. If there's a net loss of energy, we'll see that the organisms are going to lose mass and ultimately result in death. Here we see two different examples of food webs. So at the bottom, you're going to have your primary producers. These are going to be your organisms that are able to convert inorganic to organic materials. Your primary consumers will consume your producers. Secondary consumes the primary. Tertiary consumes the secondary. Quaternary consumes the tertiary consumers. Some students struggle with the arrowheads, and so a way that I've helped students in the past is wherever the top of the arrowhead, it like makes a little arrow thing, that means it's eating the other organism. This board likes to ask the question of what would go wrong. Like, if we break the system, what happens? So if there's a decrease in our producer level, that means there's going to be less food available for our primary consumers and less food for secondary, less food, less food. And so we're going to see a decrease in our population. The opposite's true if we see an increase in our producer level. If there's an increase here, that means there's more food, so I can sustain more primary consumers, more secondary consumers, more tertiary consumers, and again, more quaternary consumers. So we'll see an increase in our population size. So now we need to look about autotrophs versus heterotrophs. So an autotroph is an organism that's going to be able to make its own food. So it can convert inorganic materials to organic material. Photoautotrophs are going to use the energy available in sunlight, versus chemoautotrophs are going to use the energy available in small inorganic molecules. They also do this in the absence of oxygen. A heterotroph is going to have to consume organic material. Heterotrophs are able to metabolize carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins as a source of energy by process of hydrolysis. In case you forgot, hydrolysis is going to be where we're going to break a water molecule in order to break a bond within these macromolecules. If you have a pen, just says, bye.